It is the year 2023, and Jiwon is in the hospital as she is unwell, and Soo-min, her closest friend, shows up at the hospital. Jiwon is upset because she just found out that her husband is cheating on her with another woman. Soo-min expresses sympathy and sticks to her. Jiwon feels lonely and sad and begins to recall her memories of her marriage with her husband, Min-hwan. However, she did not have an easy marriage. Her mother-in-law was mean to her and always bullied her, expecting her to do all the chores, and the man she married ended up being worthless and lazy. One day at the office, she was getting scolded by her manager and her nose started bleeding. Later she discovered she has terminal cancer. Instead of letting her rest, her family request her to continue working, and they are not concerned about her health. As she is walking in the hospital, another woman tries to console her by telling her that at least she had a great friend like Soo-min even though her husband is a cheater. She is relieved at this thought. However, she did not know that Soo-min is the woman who is having an affair with her husband behind her back. A staff member came up to inform her that she must pay her bills to continue receiving treatment. Jiwon calls Min-hwan, but he does not pick up his phone. Jiwon takes a taxi to her house, and the driver reassures her that she will soon recover. However, Jiwon does not believe it. He takes a wrong turn and leads her to a location with beautiful cherry blossom trees. When they arrived, she paid him, but the driver told her that it is his last day working as a taxi driver and returns her money, and even called her his daughter. When she entered her house, she found Soo-min and her husband sitting on the bed discussing the payout of an insurance policy that her husband will receive in the event she passes away. And she realized that he married her because he anticipated that she would develop cancer, just like her father. Soo-min wants Jiwon to pass away quickly so they can use the payout to buy a new house and live a lavish lifestyle. Jiwon could not believe it. She stormed into the room and started throwing objects at them. As she was attacking Soo-min, Min-hwan grabbed her firmly and pushed her onto a glass table where she hit her head and died due to the bleeding. However, she is miraculously transported 10 years back in time. She is back at her old job when she, Min-hwan, and Soo-min were colleagues. She recognizes Min-hwan and starts pulling his hair and scolding him in front of everyone before General Manager Ji-hook stopped her. She realized that she is at her office and not at home. She rushes to the mirror to take a look at herself and is shocked. She trips and pushes a kettle off the table. Luckily, Ji-hook stops her from getting burned as he swiftly holds her. Subsequently, Min-hwan and Soo-min arrive there to check up on her, but she is reminded of their evil nature and begins to ignore them. She was confused as to what was happening and rushed home. However, she trips and is fortunately saved by Ji-hook. Jiwon realized that she is currently living in 2013. Ji-hook sent her home, and after entering her house, she was very perplexed by the whole situation. Jiwon discovers that the money that the taxi driver returned her has a heart-shaped mark on it, and she realized that the taxi driver was actually her late father, as only he added a heart-shaped mark to his notes. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Min-hwan invites her to dinner, and she decided to have dinner with him as she wanted to break up with him. Min-hwan could not let his plan fail, so he threatened her to stay with him. She started screaming for help and they landed at the police station, but as he did not hurt her, he was released. Jiwon gets home and she wanted to find a way to leave him, but she is strapped for cash as Min-hwan has already withdrew most of the cash from her account. However, as she knows what happened in the next 10 years, she could invest in companies that will land her a huge profit. She starts reading books about the stock market and she unexpectedly encounters Ji-hook. He is surprised to see her reading such books and thought that she intends to leave her job. Jiwon notices a burn scar on Ji-hook's wrist as he saved her the day before, and she apologizes for the trouble. He is not mad at her and only asks her to treat him to a nice dinner. She looks at him in admiration as he removes his glasses and saw the wound on his hand and realized that it resembles the wound she had in the future. Suddenly, she gets a call from Soo-min. However, she did not want to pick up and she received a text from Soo-min saying that she misses her. She arrives at office the next day and ignores Min-hwan and started purchasing a particular stock in large quantities. Out of a sudden, Soo-min was beside her. However, she remembered how evil she is and pushed her away. Later at the dining hall, she saw a cup that was about to fall and she remembered hurting her knees trying to save it previously. However, this time she successfully saves the cup from falling and did not get hurt. Later, Min-hwan spots her and she tries to run away and falls, eventually hurting herself at the same spot. She is worried as she realizes that the future is inevitable and whatever that happened to her will eventually happen once again. However, she learns that the things that happened to her can be diverted to somebody else. To protect herself, Jiwon needs Soo-min to steal her fate and marry her husband. Later she meets with Ji-hook and informs him that he is not going to quit the company anymore, which makes him relieved. He invited her for dinner on the weekends, but Soo-min interrupted them and said Ji-won made plans with her already. Ji-hook felt that something was off and began to dig out information on Jiwon. Later she receives a message from Min-hwan wanting to meet. They went outside together and Ji-hook noticed them. Min-hwan takes her to the storeroom and gets angry at her for ignoring him and trying to impress Ji-hook. Jiwon does not want to alert him now and lies that she did not want to break up with him, however, she wants him to be a model husband that every woman wants. He tries to kiss her, but luckily a fellow employee Miss Young arrives, and he left. At the cafeteria, Jiwon recalled the time when Soo-min intentionally bumped into her and spilled food onto her on purpose on this exact same day. However, she would not let it happen to her again and managed to dodge Soo-min. Soo-min ends up spilling the food on Min-hwan instead. At the restroom, she heard a woman asking for help as she is having her period and needed a pad, so she went out to get one. Hee-yeon thanked Jiwon for her kindness, and they became friends. She invited Hee-yeon to have lunch with them, but Soo-min was not happy about it. Jiwon started choking on her food and Hee-yeon offered to get her some water. Soo-min asked her to bring some for her, but she refused. Jiwon went with her, and Soo-min did not like the idea of Jiwon having a new friend. Suddenly Min-hwan and Soo-min get pushed inside the elevator and was extremely close to each other. However, Soo-min started to flirt and tease him. As Jiwon and Hee-yeon was eating, Jiwon gets a message and she had to leave. Hee-yeon was upset and asked Jiwon to go out with her on Sunday, but she had to reject her as she had a school reunion to attend. Later, she found a gift on her desk left by Soo-min. Soo-min asked her to wear these earrings to the school reunion as they are besties and should wear the same earrings. She received a message from Soo-min wanting to crash at her place, and Min-hwan also wanted to stay over. She is annoyed but thought that it was a good opportunity for Soo-min and Min-hwan to get closer to each other. She bumped into Ji-hook, and he told her that the earrings she was holding were replicas, and that she should not wear them. He offers to send her home, but she declined as she said she had plans with her boyfriend. Min-hwan arrived at her house and she asked him to head in first. At the same time, she also received a few messages which had full of emojis from Soo-min as she said she was excited to visit, but Jiwon gave her one-word answer and Soo-min was upset and cancels her plan to crash at Jiwon's house. Jiwon reached home and learned that Soo-min was not coming and she panicked. Suddenly Min-hwan was behind her and wanted to get intimate with her, so he pushed her on the bed. She asked him to put on clothes, but he removed his towel and she began to scream. Suddenly, the doorbell rang and she rushed to the door only to see a delivery boy outside. As they did not place an order, Min-hwan angrily tells him to leave, but Jiwon seized the chance to push Min-hwan out of the house and told him to leave. She made up a lie and said that she felt shy. The delivery man was sent by Ji-hook to save her from Min-hwan. Ji-hook also met with Jiwon's former classmate En-ho and asked him to come for the school reunion. En-ho and Jiwon had feelings for each other in high school, but were ruined by Soo-min. Upon arriving at the reunion, Soo-min bumps into her former classmates and they are impressed by her employment at such a prestigious company, but became unhappy when they realized she also invited Jiwon. They did not like Jiwon because Soo-min had tricked them into thinking that she was a bad person who made use of Soo-min and mimicked everything Soo-min had. Suddenly, Soo-min received a call from Jiwon informing her that she arrived. She turned around and was taken aback by Jiwon's makeover. Prior to the reunion, she met Hee-yeon. Hee-yeon took her to a beauty salon where she received a full makeover. The other girls were mean to her as they did not expect someone like Jiwon to become so beautiful and confident. She even pointed out that Jiwon was wearing the same earrings as Soo-min, however, Jiwon was wearing the real ones, and Soo-min was wearing the replica. Jiwon had borrowed the real earrings from Hee-yeon. Jiwon went to the bathroom and waits for the other girls to arrive as she knew history will repeat itself. The girls came into the restroom and started gossiping about Jiwon, but later realized that she might be in the cubicle. She kicks the door open and they confronted Jiwon as they felt she had been mimicking Soo-min in order to look pretty and stolen everything from her including Soo-min's boyfriend. She begins to dispel their misconceptions, stating that she never once copied or stole from Soo-min and that Soo-min is the one who exploited her kindness. When she wanted to leave, one of them asked why did she force Soo-min to break up with her boyfriend En-ho. Jiwon was confused as Soo-min and En-ho had never dated. Soo-min, however, insisted that she had a relationship with En-ho. Jiwon knew that they will not acknowledge her innocence and will continue to mistreat her. Fortunately, En-ho showed up and said that he has never dated Soo-min. He is delighted to see Jiwon again. On the other hand, Ji-hyuk gets scolded by his grandfather as he declines to get married. His grandfather told him that he had to find a compatible life partner in order to succeed. However, he is adamant about pursuing Jiwon. Everyone started questioning En-ho, but he ignored them and asked Jiwon if she still likes him. She is shocked to see her first love and ran away. Ji-hyuk is waiting for Jiwon outside the restaurant. He saw her makeover and was mesmerized. He saw En-ho following her and rushing up to her to ask her about her feelings. However, she said that she did not like him. En-ho confessed to her, but Ji-hyuk called her, asking her to meet him for urgent work. Jiwon told En-ho she needed to leave and he asked for her number before she left. Ji-hyuk took her to an exclusive meeting and she met with the company director. He seemed to be fond of Jiwon and Ji-hyuk could not stand it and took her home. On the way home, they got along really well and was laughing with one another. However, Jiwon got a call from Soo-min, which ruined her mood. She smiled when she received a message from En-ho, and Ji-hyuk was jealous. He told her she should move on and warned her that it would be risky for her to rekindle with her first love. Suddenly he saw Min-hwan walking back and Soo-min sitting by the road outside her apartment. She tried to hide from them. Ji-hyuk kept driving without stopping. Soo-min is upset because her attempt to make fun of Jiwon backfired and she was exposed instead. Min-hwan saw Soo-min and wanted to take her into Jiwon's apartment. However, Jiwon changed the passcode and he could not open the door, so they left. Ji-hyuk dropped Jiwon outside and tried to confess to her, but he could not find the courage to do so. Later, Jiwon got a call from En-ho and was excited as they began recalling their school life and got to know that he stopped talking to her because she rejected him after he wrote her a love letter. However, she doesn't recall receiving a love letter from him. She wanted to meet to clear up this misunderstanding and asked him to bring her reply letter. The next morning she turns up to work in her new makeover, and Min-hwan is shocked by her new look as she is so gorgeous now. Even Ji-hyuk is mesmerized by her beauty and told her she should dress appropriately. She pointed out that Ji-hyuk is wearing lenses instead of his usual glasses, and he looks good. Everybody complimented him and he was shy and did not know how to reply to the compliments. Ji-hyuk stopped Jiwon as he wanted to talk to her and tell her that he wore contact lenses because he wanted to look good for her. She did not get it, but however, said that he should change the way he dresses to look better. Jiwon was at the bus stop when she saw Ji-hyuk and Hyun together. She is laughing and playing around with him and she mistakes them for being a couple. However, they are siblings, and Hyun was just thanking him for his gift in return for her assistance. Ji-hyuk had a similar heart-shaped mark that Jiwon's father draws on her allowance money. Ji-hyuk is stressed because he cannot figure out how to tell Jiwon to avoid Soo-min and Min-hwan as they will betray her. He also did not know how to explain how he learned of this, and that is because Ji-hyuk is also living a second life. Back to 2023, Ji-hyuk was attending Jiwon's funeral and saw Min-hwan and Soo-min getting arrested for Jiwon's murder, and he also learned about En-ho and how her classmates used to bully her because of Soo-min. As he was returning home, he got into a car accident and he wakes up miraculously and is also transported to 10 years back. In the past, Ji-hyuk is being made fun and teased by his friends, and this was when he first met Jiwon. She is drunk and does not know where she is going, which made Ji-hyuk worried as she told him she is sad and nobody likes her at school. She bites him out of the blue and he takes her to a nearby park where she begins to tell him everything from her time at school to her friendship with Soo-min, and they fell asleep. When he woke up, he discovers that she was gone. After his judo class, he saw Jiwon feeding a cat and complaining about how this morning she had woken up beside an unpleasant-looking man and felt uncomfortable. When he saw her feeding the cat, he is drawn to her generosity and fell in love with Jiwon and wanted to take care of the cat. However, he never got a chance to confess his love. He turned up to work the next day with a new look, which Min-hwan did not like. He started being possessive and warned Jiwon to stay away from Ji-hyuk. Jiwon said that Ji-hyuk already has a girlfriend, but Min-hwan said all men are cheaters. Later, Soo-min tries to convince Jiwon to give her the business proposal as it will help her to get a permanent position in the office, but she does not want to do so. Suddenly, the manager calls Jiwon and told her to pass him her business proposal if she wants the management to approve. This worries Jiwon as she knows Soo-min is close to the manager and will take the proposal from him. Ji-hyuk arrives and asks Jiwon to have dinner, but she declines and met En-ho. She met An-ho and asked him to have dinner with her. Min-hwan called Jiwon and did not get through, so he called Soo-min to find out where she is and found out that she might have been on a date with An-ho. Jiwon told An-ho that she has a boyfriend and he suspected the guy to be Ji-hyuk, which surprises Jiwon, and asked how did he know Ji-hyuk. Ji-hyuk spotted Jiwon with An-ho and was upset that she rejected him to go out with An-ho. He wanted to walk away but could not stand the thought of her being with another man. Jiwon is walking home by herself and she feels someone is following her and runs, but Min-hwan appears in front of her. He is upset as he thinks she is having an affair with another man. Luckily, as Min-hwan is about to beat her, Ji-hyuk appeared and defended her. Min-hwan is surprised to see Ji-hyuk there. Ji-hyuk is furious that Min-hwan wanted to harm Jiwon. Jiwon intervenes and Min-hwan runs away. When she asked Ji-hyuk why was he there, he told her he was just passing by. However, she finds it incomprehensible that he is meddling in her affairs. Ji-hyuk said that he did not want Min-hwan to harm Jiwon once again, but Jiwon is mad and called him a cheater for having feelings for her despite having a girlfriend. He was perplexed and tries to convince her that he is not a cheater because Ji-hyuk and Hee-yoon are not dating. Ji-hyuk called Hee-yoon and Jiwon realizes that they are siblings and not lovers. After dropping her, he slowly leans towards her and faints on her shoulders. Soo-min wants to seduce Min-hwan after learning what happened to Jiwon and Min-hwan. She approaches him and comforts him. Meanwhile, Ji-hyuk is in the hospital with Jiwon and the doctor said that he fainted due to stress. Min-hwan and Soo-min are being intimate with each other. Ji-hyuk gets discharged from the hospital and offers her a ride back home. However, Jiwon rejects him and Ji-hyuk says he will give her time to think and promises to treat her well if she chooses him. The next day, Jiwon met An-ho outside her office and Ji-hyuk saw them together. Later on he went to the rooftop and saw Min-hwan. He told him to break up with Jiwon as he is not a good boyfriend and told him to never lay a finger on Jiwon ever again. During lunch, Soo-min planned to skip her meal, however Jiwon told her she's too skinny and passed Min-hwan her card and told him to bring her out to eat something. He invites her for dinner and told her to not feel any pressure. He brought her to his judo club and she met with two of his friends. They taught her how to fight Ji-hyuk and she fails miserably. He looks down on her, which infuriates her, and she uses all her might to push him, causing him to fall, but his purpose was so that she would learn to protect herself. The next day, a frustrated Min-hwan confronts Jiwon, but he is humiliated and is slapped thrice. Jiwon waved a red panty planted by her to expose her unfaithful fiancé in front of everyone and even threw the ring against the wall. Min-hwan, being a coward as always, he takes it out on Soo-min and caused a commotion, and everyone found out that the mistress is Soo-min and she is the topic of gossip. Soo-min and Min-hwan becomes a public ridicule. To make matters worse, the previous incident where a customer suffered from an allergic reaction due to their negligence is discovered. Min-hwan is transferred to another department and Soo-min is fired. Soo-min wrote an apology letter to the customer pretending to be Jiwon. The victim slapped Jiwon and she drags the real culprit and exposed everything Soo-min did. She begs for forgiveness and even lied by saying that she is pregnant, and Min-hwan overheard this news and is shocked. He is kidnapped by loan sharks as he owes money and he needs to get married so that he can profit from the house his parents would give as a wedding gift. He convinces Soo-min to marry him and manipulates her by saying they should build a family together. She even bought a fake pregnancy test to upkeep her lie and deceive Min-hwan. While they thought that Jiwon is devastated, she is in fact the opposite, enjoying her time with her friends and also spending time with Ji-hyuk. He is afraid that he doesn't have much time left with Jiwon, and when Jiwon goes on a date with An-ho, he is depressed and even ate ice cream straight from the time. Even though Jiwon enjoyed herself, but she wished she was out with Ji-hyuk and rejects An-ho as she only thinks of him as a friend. Ji-hyuk overheard this conversation and invites her to his apartment. She is greeted by a cozy Christmas-decorated home and is moved by his gesture. She admits that he is on her mind and takes the initiative and gave him a kiss. Ji-hyuk could not resist and they both ended up making out passionately. However, Ji-hyuk keeps on thinking that he will die soon and he chases her away. When he did not turn up at work the next day, Jiwon prepared a homemade meal for him but is shocked to find him lying in the living room as he had a high fever. He told her he wants to be someone she can rely on, and Jiwon is moved by his constant love for her that she fell for him even deeper. She took care of him for the entire night and she is determined to be with him so that they have no regrets. She felt that this was the reason for her second chance in life, to love and truly be happy again. He gave in to his feelings, and was happy with each other's company and the cat that they adopted. They go on dates and have deep conversations with each other. Meanwhile, Min Hwan and Soo Min have planned their engagement, and Soo Min made up everything about her life as her mother-in-law wants her son to marry someone with a good background. The mother-in-law dictates every detail of the wedding, including the rented apartment, the wedding date, and even the dress to the makeup artist. Soo Min is horrified but silently accepts the demands to prove that she has defeated Jiwon. She sends the wedding invitation to Jiwon, thinking that she would be hurt. She is forced to wear the same dress that Jiwon wore, and now she is overshadowed by Jiwon's elegance, who thank her for picking up the trash she discarded. Jiwon also leaves a wedding gift for Min Hwan, suing him for all the money he owes her. As she watches the wedding takes place, Jiwon is relieved to have escaped a terrible fate. Just when everything seemed resolved, Jin Hyuk's ex-wife, Yura, appeared and wants his back. Jiwon is deeply shaken by the existence of his ex-wife and wants to distance herself. She is afraid of becoming a homewrecker. Min Hwan tried to strangle and assault Jiwon, and Ji Hyuk saw and fought with Min Hwan. The two of them were taken to the police station, and Min Hwan did not show an ounce of remorse. Ji Hyuk is released, whereas Min Hwan is still stuck in prison. Ji Hyuk is angry and promises to take down Min Hwan. The next day, Min Hwan is released with Yura's help, and he learns that he is fired from his job and the loan sharks are chasing him. Desperate, he digs into Soo Min's closet and found her bank book and her hidden stash of money, and sells her designer bags. Even so, it is far from enough. However, he receives a document from the company which will grant him 500 million won if his spouse passes away by accidental death. He did not know that this was a setup planted by Jiwon and Ji Hyuk. He seeks Yura help to make his wife disappear forever. And this was a win-win situation for Yura, as Soo Min approached her a few days ago and blackmailed her, so she wanted her gone. Soo Min calls Ji Hyuk and he tries to pretend to sympathize with her and suggested that she accused Min Hwan of adultery, so she will receive compensation. She is furious that the fact that Jiwon is more desired and is convinced that Min Hwan is cheating on her. She storms into the office and accuses Jiwon of seducing her husband. Jiwon rebutted back and said they are not the same and she would never sleep with a married man, let alone pick up someone else's trash. She is furious, and with no one else to rely on, she calls Ji Hyuk and agrees to do whatever he asks. When Soo Min arrives at the hotel to supposedly catch her husband with Jiwon, a surprise was awaiting her instead. She walks into Min Hwan and Yura laughing in bed and plotting her death to collect her insurance death benefit. She is furious and takes pictures of the couple to send to the police, but Yura's assistant stops her, and when she woke up, she is already tied up. She realized she lost all her money and evidence against Yura, and that she meant nothing to Min Hwan, and is desperate. Min Hwan only needs Soo Min to die for a fresh start. He cuts the gas pipes, but when he returns, he realized she is not there anymore. She appeared behind him and charged with a knife, ready to kill him. They both fought violently, and she managed to push him onto a glass table, which is similar to what he did to Jiwon previously. Ji Hyuk's grandfather knew that only Jiwon could make Ji Hyuk happy, and finally accepts the couple's love. At work, her collaboration project with Eun Ho is a success. Finally, the group organized a meeting and celebrated their victories, and had a fun and happy evening. However, Soo Min was still on the loose, and is more insane than ever. As soon as Jiwon opens the door, she is hit by a shock device, and when she woke up, she is tied up. Soo Min poured gasoline to set everything on fire and blamed Jiwon for her fate. She even confessed that she killed Min Hwan and boasted that she was untouchable, but she did not know it was a trap. Jiwon already suspected that Soo Min would come for her, so she had already prepared herself and installed hidden cameras in the apartment. She is also highly trained in judo, so she managed to break the strap on her wrist and pinned Soo Min down until the police came to arrest her. Finally, it was all over. During her prison term, she is mistreated by the inmates, and due to her own illusion, she goes mad and is trapped in her own mind. Jiwon is finally free from all the evil people and can finally be with Ji Hyuk. As for Yura, she was involved in a fatal car accident when she was trying to escape from everything. Ji Hyuk's fate is transferred to her, and he is finally free now. Now that all their worries are resolved, they can finally spend their days together happily. They have dinner daily, and even spent Christmas together. Jiwon takes Ji Hyuk to the park where it all began, and they both propose to each other to start a new phase in life. The big day arrives, and the wedding is held in the presence of friends and family. Later on they had twins, and even in the tiredness and the stench of dirty diapers, their love remained strong and they raised the kids with lots of love. They live happy ever after. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed our summary. Your support means the world to us, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel.